go over here. And hang on if you come in. Okay, Barb, I might need your help again. So I might need your help again. Hang on, folks. I'm trying to do the computer thing here. Hello, Betty. Yes, I'm. Oh. Hey, Nelson, you're early. It's like trying to make me go in.
Oh,
It's trying to make me start it on the computer, which would be cool because then I could read it on there too. But I don't get it.
All right,
I'm already live here.
You're live here?
Yes.
Okay, hang on.
I'm trying to do it on the computer too, so I could actually read the comments because it's a son of a bitch to read all your little comments. But it's acting like it wants me to start it there, which would be cool. But if this just filmed and that I could, because that's how we do it up to Jimmy's. He brings it up on the computer. And it shows the, aha, we have it.
I'm going to mute you over here.
Yes, you got to mute me there. The IT department is on it. Where's the comment? There they are.
Okay.
Cool.
Here you go.
And the comments are actually moving, so that. Can I do this with my finger, or do I have to do it with?
No, it's not touchscreen. This
Oh,
thing is
that
old
sucks ass.
and cheap.
That sucks.
You kidding? You wanted cheap, mister.
I know I did.
We only paid like $90 for the thing.
That's because it was my golf computer at the time. All right, so I'm scrolling back up to try and see who's here, which is quite a few of you so far. I can't do it with glasses on because they're the glare. All right. So I don't know how we're going to do this because I'm going to be looking that way. And all right, why is this? Come on, for fuck's sakes. Oh, I guess it helps if your hand's in the right spot, moving the right thing. Anyways, I think I'm to where I'm supposed to be. Brian Shell, Mike Rogers, Betty Swain, Nelson, here. The Dick Steele. The Dick Steele twice. Where the hell is Jimmy? Well, I texted Jimmy earlier. I said, which store do you want me to come into tonight? I got back a, oh shit, it's my anniversary. Yeah, well, he's probably better off taking Tammy out than being, you know, yeah, you can figure that one out. So, yeah. So that's where Jimmy is. It's his anniversary. So, all right, who else is in? I got to figure out how to make the comments. Oh, hey, there's an arrow. That's how I do it, I guess. Adam's here. Catfish, Victor, John Kissick. All right, I'm just going down, skipping a bunch of you. As they come in, they come in. Take Barb on a date for fixing it, yeah. Hi, everyone. Lloyd Nace, hello, everyone from South Dakota here. Hope everyone's having a great day. Thank you, Barb, yep. Well, she had it all set up for me ahead of time. But then it threw me for a loop when it was trying to make me do what I do on here. Which I guess if it, in the future, if that could film me and I could read them, that would be cool. But I will have to look into that. This computer was the one from the shop from Shane Shitman. She said it was probably less than $100 because this is the one that I used to use. I think I said this the last time I did one here on my old Golf OptiShot machine, which is, if any of you know what that is, 20 years old, probably. I don't even use it anymore. It's so outdated. But anyways, okay, put Barb on the chat. She don't want to be on the chat. Hi, Grumpy, here from Virginia. Happy wife, happy life. You know how that goes. Yep. We forgive Jimmy for this one. Yep. Happy anniversary, Jimmy, if you see this. Well, he's probably out right now at almost 7 o'clock going to a restaurant or something. So, and if he's smart, he won't be watching this while he's there. All right. Greetings from East Troy, Wisconsin. How's your week been, Andy? Well, Sunday night I got home here at, I don't know, I'm watching the Yankee game on TV too with the volume down. They're up 3-0, so that's a good thing. It's the 8th inning. I got here, I don't know, I got back in the house at maybe 10 Sunday night from my Myrtle Beach trip. And today it's a high of 29. My body doesn't like that anymore. Yesterday was like low 60s. I don't deal well with I'm just drinking water tonight, though. My chiropractor today was explaining to me about barometric pressure and people like me who have, lifelong injuries, how they don't go together well. Yeah, I feel that today. We got a priest in. Priest Farms is in, so we're blessed for the evening. Then they want you to update the thing. Yep. It ain't gonna suck itself. Carl. I'm leaving that one alone, Carl. Best he isn't in the doghouse. Best to make the wife happy. Yeah, the one thing I've been dealing with since I've been home, I don't really have a cold, but it's pollen season. Like, we were there in the middle of what they were telling us was the 3-4 weeks. It's the worst. Yeah. Oof. I came home to snottiness and all that from pollen season because of my allergies. They say you get used to it, I guess, if you're down there for, you'll live there. But obviously I came back here, so. Buddy, Southern Jersey, New Jersey. Evening, Andy from South New Jersey. Lee Harris is in. Yep, Tiger Woods. I saw that earlier. I was watching some golf before supper, and he's, I feel bad for the guy. Because I think I've told you guys all the story. Oh, God. My supper was Captain Crunch and a English muffin. Now I'm burping it up. But I was in that, wicked car crash when I was 16, cut in half, fucked up for the rest of my life in plain English. And I was on all that shit in my 20s. So you're talking, 35 some years ago, close to 40 years ago. And then woke up one morning in my late 20s, 28, and kind of figured I wouldn't make it to 30 if I kept doing that shit. So I've learned to live in pain. I still drink alcohol, and I take 2 acetaminophen in the morning and 2 in the evening, and I just deal with pain. But with all the injuries and accidents and shit that he's had, I'm sure they've pushed every drug at him that can be pushed at him. He's probably taken them all because he wanted to get back to being the Tiger of old, which he'll never be. And now he's probably an addict, which is what I wanted to avoid. So, which is why I'm in fucking pain the rest of my life. But anyways, not whining for those that come in, you fucking whiny farmer. But the only thing I'm allergic to is bullshit, which is why I probably, every time I talk to a loony, yeah, well, you saw my hat that wherever it was that somebody sent me. I'm sorry, I forgot your name. This says, nah, I'm not grumpy. I'm just allergic to bullshit. So, Chuck Norris, yep. Old Chuck was never going to die. I mean, holy shit, he had them commercials for all sorts of health stuff and, exercise machines. And then he drops dead at 86. Not that 86 is a bad thing. Good evening from Michigan. I'm burping up beer. Yeah, I'm not. I didn't think beer would taste too good after Captain Crunch. Good thing age makes you more tolerant to pain. Yeah, I'm not so sure about that though, because it makes it that much harder to deal with, especially when you wake up in the morning and it's cold. I still sound like a smoker, but today's day 102 of no smoking. Of course, I didn't sound like this before I went to South Carolina. It was nasty. I mean, your phone, the glass piece on your phone, I'd put it in the cup holder in the golf cart. Shit, by the time we golfed 2 holes, it was yellow. Well, Nelson, you can tell us about it. You live in North Carolina. How long does that shit last, Nelson? Those guys down there told me it's like a 3 to 4 week period of it being bad. And we were there for the bad time. So, alright, my coal miner minister friend was doing oxycodone for 2 years. He's toast, yeah? No king's mind ass. We need a no idiots protest, yeah? Lloyd says, I know the feeling, Andy. I'm in constant pain also. But these are from old surgeries. Yep. I have a lot of old scar tissue. Raises hell with me, but I deal with it. Yep. Not to mention arthritis. Our good friend Arthur that we get because of that. Wonder if that gold colored tractor that was made in China that Trump liked. I don't know. Congratulations on your not smoking. Yep, day 102. And I'm not pushing these, but I got one in now. These are just nicotine pouches, 6 milligram. Probably guessing 5 to 7 of these a day. Keeps the headaches away and keeps me from not wanting to light up. And for as many articles that you'll find that says, oh, well, even doing just nicotine like this is terrible, because it's like the vaping thing. They're trying to keep the kids off it, which I get. But there's also the articles out there. As a matter of fact, I read one earlier today about how this helps with, your cognitive, and they actually give it to patients that are starting to show cognitive decline, like early Alzheimer's and shit like that. So, whatever. I mean, you all want a maha for the rest of your life with Mr. Look at me, I'm 70, I'm ripped, and I can do so many pull ups. Fucking go for it. I quit smoking after 40 years. After that, I'm going to eat what I want. I'm still going to drink. Maybe after this, I'll have some dessert and I'll have one of my vodka drinks. I just didn't feel like beer tonight. But if I keep doing these, so be it. If I eventually quit them, so be that too. But, alright, Adam, it says they're made in Minnesota and their headquarters are in Georgia. I don't even know what Tractors was. I don't even know what Tractors were there. I didn't even know he was giving some speech today. I saw a little of it after the fact. Chuck Norris didn't mow his lawn. He stared at it. Yeah, I know. I've heard since he died, there's been a ton of that. There was actually a billboard, like an electric one that changes right on the main strip. For those of you who've been to Myrtle Beach before, 17 North Kings Highway, as they call it. It's also Route 17, but for some reason we have to give it 2 names. But whatever. And people rent their however many seconds that it flips to their thing for their restaurant or their whatever. We're sitting at a red light. I'm just reading the ones because we're, always looking for good places to eat and whatnot. Oh, excuse me. And all of a sudden it popped up, Chuck Norris, 19, whatever it was, 46 through 2026, whatever, 1940, I guess. And what I thought that was pretty cool that they put that up on there. So, Pooh Guru Plumber, make sure you tap the thumbs up. Yep, tap the thumbs up or go out, thumbs up, come back in, whatever. So, if you're not subscribed, subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. I'd tell you to ring the bell too and you'd get notification, but with ScrewTube, who knows if you actually would, because there's many of you that tell me, I ring the bell and 5 days later I see you put up a video. Don't shoot the messenger. That's ScrewTube's thing that they always push. So, there's an old saying, man makes beer, God makes pot. In God we trust. I believe in using the natural remedies that nature provides. Well, I don't do the pot part, but don't think I haven't thought about it, especially like at night, right before I go to bed, so I can actually get a good night's sleep. Because there's some nights I sleep great. There's other nights, like the last couple, that I sleep like shit. But part of that is because you wake up in the middle of the night sneezing and whatnot. That doesn't help. It was a Fent 1167.
Are you discussing interesting things?
Barb is back. Oh, you found pictures? Oh, she doesn't want to be on camera, but she found pictures.
Well, these are. Well, I'm in a couple of them. Here, I'll let you show them.
Not really enough room here, I know. Okay, so you remember when I said someday we do, like on the farm, a live stream? Well, this is turning into it. So here is Chelsea
She's in the green cart.
sitting in a
High moisture corn.
high moisture corn cart.
I was feeding high moisture
Trying to
corn,
get the
and
stupid
she would
glare out of
ride
there.
with me.
Yeah, so there's the cart we'd push around and scoop out. Well,
She'd
there's
ride with us. We could keep our eye on her that way.
yeah, there's little Chelsea. Okay.
This was when she was really little.
So I'm not gonna.
I was still working. I wasn't working on the farm yet.
This is Barb with Chelsea.
Little Chelsea.
As you can see, the cows in the background. There's a freaking glare. Should I turn the light off, do this in the dark, and see if it would show up better?
I don't know. Maybe angle your phone this way.
No, that don't help. Let me try to turn the light off for 1 minute.
They're all like dizzy now. For me, but I don't know if they'll see it because now it's dark.
Oh no, they can see it, because I can see it.
Okay.
Oh, you know what it is? It's the fucking computer.
Oh, that's not swear.
Oh, really? These people are... No, it's not.
Oh, shoot. I'm right back. I forgot to do the... Right back. You hold that picture.
I don't know.
Here's another one.
Uh,
It's a TV. Turn it off.
I'm going to turn the light back on because...
Turn your TV off.
Alright, turn the light back on. Try turning the TV off. So I'm not going to be reading much of your comments. I have a severe neck injury, so I do enjoy it when people young and healthy look at me and go, man, my back hurts, really? Yeah, I know, Carl, that's kind of how I am. Alright, let me turn the TV off. Let's see if this helps. Alright, let's try this without the TV. There's still a fucking glare. I think it's from the computer.
It's the glare from the phone. It's reflecting.
Is that what it is?
It's reflecting off of the phone.
Okay, it's
screen.
reflecting off the phone. Anyways, there's Barb and little Chelsea, and you can see the cows in the background.
I don't know if it makes a difference with how you angle your phone. Anyways, there's one of you and Chelsea.
Is there any way to make the phone go? No.
Maybe if I hold the phone.
All right, now you're gonna get to see how skinny we both were years ago. That's me, believe it or not. So there's Chelsea. So she's 22 now, so that's probably 2. So that's 20 years ago. Oh, look, I'm not gray. Imagine that. Yeah, when you milk cows for a living, you tend to stay skinnier.
She's got her little giant measuring tape in her hand. You're fixing either a water line or a water bucket, and she's helping.
Nice family memories. I got to read a few comments now and then. Thanks, Grumpy from Georgetown, Ontario. Love your show. You're a good man, Grumpy. Raised the kids right. Well, only kid, but gotta love old farm photos. So basically, I just want to say this one thing for the people, for the haters that have come in and, oh, you fucking grain farmers, you don't do it, you work
Oh, we did it.
4 months out of the year. Well, for 25 fucking years, we did this. So you can go do that.
All right, stop being vulgar.
There's Chelsea and I. I'm working on a busted water line, which was seemingly a daily thing when you had cows. And there's my apprentice helping me. God, I was skinny once. Well, not skinny, but...
And this one, you're absolutely filthy because you had been, it's harvest. You'd been out in the fields harvesting. I brought her by before I went trick-or-treating with her.
Oh, okay. So you heard Barb. Chelsea was going trick-or-treating. Barb stopped at the barn because, yes, when you're, a dairy farmer, only one parent gets to go do things a lot with the child, too. Because you're busy. And like she said, I was harvesting before I went back to milk cows, so I was nasty to start with. And no gray. Yeah. All right, read a few comments. Let's see. So don't get pissed off if I miss your comments,
I can hold
because
the photos.
you've asked for
You
this.
want to read comments?
No, I'm just going to check a few. We went gray, but still grumpy. Yeah. We wasn't gray, but still grumpy. Yes, I was. I've always been grumpy. Hey, Andy, don't need the comments then. Don't read the comments then. I'll read a few. Minnesota veteran, you are awesome. I love MS, 56 years old. I will have a cigar and whiskey for you. Well, you can have the cigar. I can drink the whiskey. You ever notice they never come in during the live streams? They would rather wait a couple of minutes after the video is over. Exactly. You folks need to go back to the live stream after the fact, because that's when the retards come in. Because like Carl said, they won't come in during the live stream. Oh, check Chelsea out in this one.
Isn't she adorable?
She just a wee widow in there, walking down in front of the cows. The kid had no fear.
Unless you let the cows loose.
Yeah. Yeah, if the cows were going out to pasture or something.
She would run for the milk house and hide in the corner.
And no, for those of you, I do not miss those days of milking cows.
I used to go out and this is the 4440. Remember when the door wouldn't shut? Look, there's the rope holding the door shut. I used to go spread poop and take her, and she'd ride on the seat and hold the steering wheel. And I told her she was doing the work.
Chelsea pretended like she was driving, and like Barb said, I don't know well you can see it, but there's a rope.
It's over here.
Oh, it's
the
over
rope's
here.
over here.
Oh, it's over here. The door wouldn't shut right, so we had a rope to tie it shut.
Some baling twine.
Yep. Yeah, because like according to some of the retards that come in, us rich farmers. Well, when you're a young farmer, you tend to have a little less than what you might have is when you get a little older. But
she used to take a nap during chores.
This was
age.
March of 2007.
She was 3. Yeah, she was 3, and she used to take naps. And the black thing on her is her
cat, Blackie Cat.
Blackie Cat would sleep on.
So
her.
Chelsea, we put up straw bales so Chelsea could take her nap with Blackie Cat laying on her. So, see, now the people who didn't show up tonight, you're missing this.
And then this is another view where you can see all her toys lined up on top.
Oh, yeah, Chelsea's toys
same thing,
on the bales, and there's Chelsea sleeping with her binky in her mouth. And Blackie Cat, whoops, gotta get my fingers out of the way, Blackie Cat laying on her, and her assorted toys up there that she would play with. All right, read a few comments. Thank you for sharing the photos with us, Grumpy.
Bear with us. There's only a few more.
These animals are hard work 24/7. Yep. I was milking cows at 5 years old. I knew how to milk a cow. Yep. I was milking cows, Carl, when I was tall enough to reach the pipeline. So, because it was kind of hard in a stall barn to put a pail down, step on it when you're in between the cows.
You get murdered.
Some of the names, when I read them out, Barb's going to go, what? We had a contest a long time ago, Jimmy and I, in the shop, we wrote down people's, handles. Well, this one is called Unvaxxed Sperm. Hey, Grumpy, are you guys
That's a hot commodity.
Planning on retiring and leaving New Yorkistan? No offense meant by that, but from everything I see, it just keeps getting worse there. The answer is yes, eventually yes, because I went to a spray meeting. What's today, Friday? When did I go to the spray meeting? Yesterday? Yesterday I went to a spray meeting. Let me clarify what that means before I go through these next picture. I've probably said this before, but here in New York State, the DEC, the Department of Environmental Conservation, we have to literally have a license. It's my picture from my driver's license on a license, just like a pistol permit license. It's an applicator's license showing that I have my pesticide application license that I took the test. I have no fucking idea. 35 years ago, I don't know. I'm guessing, so don't hold me to it. But don't hold me to this neither, but every 5 or 7 years we have to renew it. But we have to go to so many meetings, get so many points, then send them money. Imagine that, send New York money to renew something to keep my license renewed. So anyways, I went to one of them yesterday, and a DEC officer is always there. There is more shit coming into fucking New York that's just in the next 5 years. I don't know why anybody would want to farm in New York. I'm just putting that out there. And it ain't just New York, but there's Chelsea being a ham for the camera.
That was about that. I think if we had cows, that would still be her.
Sitting in her little chair with her feet up on a pail, because that was our pail of wipes that we used to wipe the cows' teats.
Yeah, here's another one of a different view of her looking like a ham.
Yeah, Chelsea hamming it up in her chair. I mean, I'm sure if Barb looked, we could find. Because I remember seeing a picture of like us, Dad and I, towing the wagon with the broken.
Oh, I saw the broken wheel. I also
The
saw when you
whole
had the
undercarriage
combine
was off.
stuck down in Shenanigans.
Yeah, we got pictures,
Do you
but
remember we got her a little tiny broom
yep,
that she could handle? We cut the
yep,
handle off. She's sweeping feed into the cows.
yep. So this is just some, not a lot, but here's Chelsea with her little broom,
I don't know if you can see the broom.
sweeping feed into the
It's
cows,
right there. It's just a tiny little broom she could handle, and she was helping her.
earning her keep. All right, read a few comments. I remember milking by hand when I was young. Yep. I'm late. My calendar reminder went AWOL. Evening grumpy. What will you New Yorkers do if the rich people come back and pay your taxes? Yeah, well, they ain't coming back. They left for a reason.
Yeah, they're smart.
I'm done with Binghamton. The wife and I want to move to North Carolina. I'll tell you what, that Myrtle Beach area, because if you haven't seen my last video that came out, it came out yesterday, go watch that. We go sometime. We go to 2 or 3 courses up into North Carolina, and the farthest one we went up in is an hour. And it's beautiful, and the people are just, I don't know. I'm not going to get myself in trouble by telling some of the stories I told her, but you're not as scared walking around.
Yeah, all right, let's not get into that.
Yeah, as you are in other states. There's Chelsea with one of her cats.
That's Potsy.
Oh, that's Potsy? Okay, I don't remember all the cats' names, but that's Chelsea out in the barn.
We had Ralph, Richie, and Potsy.
Oh, yeah, actually it says on the back. I should just read the back of the pictures because Barb writes things down.
Yeah, well, you can read the back of that one and tell me how much truth there is to that.
Chelsea helping milk the cows, yeah. There's Chelsea and one of her cats during milking time. Whoops, I guess I can't get it too close to the phone. But as you can tell, we had a tie stall barn, you know, cows on each side. I think there was 65 stalls, 70 stalls, something like that, with 3 big box stalls at the end. So, and we had the gutter cleaner system.
She's carrying that massive crescent wrench.
Oh yeah, here's Chelsea. Chelsea's holding on to my big ass crescent wrench for me. Actually, it looks like she's kind of just leaning it on the ground there as I was
I'm sure she
fixing a water line. So this is about 20 years ago also. But yeah, and you never had clean clothes when you milked cows.
Right, this isn't a barn, but I thought it was so cute.
Oh, yes.
Her standing in front of the combine.
This was my first, I should say our first, brand new combine. This is a 2006 9560 STS. Brand new heads and everything. And there's Chelsea standing at the tires, so that gives you an idea of the size. That was the one that me and 2 buddies went out to John Deere for the Gold Key program, where you could start your combine coming off the assembly line. Yeah, well, I went out in July because mine was coming off the assembly line on May 18th, and I told them, I will not be there May 18th. I will be planting. And they acted like, well, you don't want to come and start your combine coming off the line? No, I want to plant the shit that the combine's going to do in, 4 months or whatever.
We're bringing cows in. She's standing on the straw chopper by the radio.
Oh, okay. Here's 2011, little cutie with a tooth missing.
This year we sold the cows.
That was the year we sold the cows, yep. She's standing on the straw chopper. Barb said we were bringing cows in. So.
I think this is her calf, Carmel.
Oh, well, let me go to comments. When my kids came to the barn when they were little, chores took twice as long, but it made good memories. Yeah, you had to shoo her out of the way a lot of times. Oh my God,
and she used to fall in the gutter all the time.
Yeah, I think I told that story once.
While it was running.
You saw the one picture of my truck sitting out in front of the barn there. So the gutter cleaner came down. The milk house was off to the right. The gutter cleaner went around the end and went up the chute out into the shit spreader. Well, I heard a noise. I walk out of the milk house, and there's a little bit of a ramp down to the gutter cleaner. And here's Chelsea, sprawled out, laying in the gutter, like it was a ride.
Just riding it.
Getting ready to go up the chute to go out into the shit spreader. I grab her by the back of the coat, rip her out of it, like, what are you doing?
And she
I
would
mean,
just fall in the gutter
yeah,
and lay there.
yeah.
Every single time.
She was a piece of work when she was little. Dairy farms are the best place to raise a family, in my opinion. Too bad that way of life is gone. Family farms and families replaced by illegal labor and mega dairies. Yeah, but the mega dairies. I mean, somebody's got to do it. So because the small dairies like this, and I'm not trying to be an ass, but unless you're a Mennonite family, these small dairies, they struggle to survive. And me physically struggled to survive it. So that's why we got out. Edsky, 38 years ago. Me, 38 years ago, my son was in a bouncy chair in the middle of the barn. He was 2 years old, bounced so hard he went head first into the gutter, got him out, and hosed him off. Yep, yep,
That's pretty much what we did, Chelsea.
yep,
We used to have a bucket that she could do her business in.
yep.
And she had to have privacy. We used to have to go put her in a corner where there wasn't anybody.
There's Chelsea in one of the pens down at the end of the barn with her calf caramel. Just think if Chelsea was here right now, because she's not. They have to leave at
This is sunflower.
5:45 tomorrow morning for Pennsylvania for
For
Lemoyne
track
does
meet.
for a track meet. So she went into college to spend the night there tonight. What's this one's name?
Sunflower. She's in, remember the Heifer barn.
God, glad you can remember the names
Well,
of
the
them.
name's on the back.
Oh, I know, but
Don't give me that much credit.
so here's one of them called Sunflower, who
I just
was
remember she had like milkshake.
obviously
caramel.
close to breeding age because this is the 20 head. Yeah,
You're pointing at the screen, but you should be pointing at that.
yeah.
There you go. There
This
you go.
is this is the back part of the shed that I've showed you, where the snowmobile trailer. Well, it doesn't go there anymore. That actually, we don't have to pull the corn head out this
No,
spring.
we don't.
We get to leave that son of a bitch in there because we don't
I
have to
thought
move
about
the.
a bunch of things we don't have to do because we don't.
Because
have
we
to
sold the snowmobiles, so
around
yeah,
with
we
that
sold
thing.
them too because we were going bankrupt, according to our good buddy Joey Volk. But whatever. But that was where in the back where we had 20 headlocks. Yeah, that's right. I
Yeah,
gotta
we
point
ripped
the
them out.
picture. We ripped them out. We had 20 headlocks back there. I did my own artificial breeding, so when the heifer calves got to breeding age, they went out there and that's your pictures for tonight. So maybe if I do this again, Barb will dig up some other ones.
Well, this is all I could find of the barn.
I know, but I know there's some of other things like.
Oh yeah, I got a ton of.
'Cause I remember you-
I got the one with you and Dad. Your dad's pulling the wagon, and you have the bucket
I have the bucket tractor
holding
where
the
they
back
lift
end
it
of
up.
the wagon up.
Because we ripped an axle out from underneath the silage
when you were
wagon.
stuck down in Shibiniacs, I snuck
Yeah.
my tractor. I snuck my tractor.
She can look
I
for-
snuck my camera.
She can look for next month in April and see if she comes up with a few more. We'll do this again like that.
All right, now I'm gonna go put them all back in the photo album.
All right.
Toodles.
You can go back to watching
Whatever
whatever
I was
you
doing.
were interrupted from. So now I'll go back to reading some of your comments. So sorry if I missed some. There, we've gotten. Oh shit. How far are we into this? Well over. Yeah, a little over a half an hour and no politics. Excuse me. I was raised in Charlotte. My wife was raised in Myrtle Beach, so we got them both covered. There you go. Betty Swain, love seeing the pictures. Thanks for sharing, Andy and Barb. That was cool. It's nice to look back. I mean, people always ask me, well, don't you miss the cows? No, I don't, because, and I'll tell you the main reason. It wasn't the work, which, well, it's always there, 7 days a week. It wasn't the, I don't know, the stress. None of that bothered me. My biggest thing was, I was like, 45 or something when we sold the cows. Physically, we had to make a choice. Do we, like, modernize, get bigger dairy-wise, go to a milking parlor where you didn't have to bend over all the time and there wasn't as much physicalness to it? The climbing silos and shit like that. I got to the point that my back couldn't take it, so that was the year milk hit $20 a hundred weight for the first time ever. I was friends with a guy who's a cattle dealer. We were bullshitting about it. I said, yeah, we're thinking about 2014 or so, maybe 15, selling the cows. He's like, now's a great time to sell them. I could get you a great price. think we had, don't quote me, that was a long time ago, 80 head total on the farm at the time, between 80 and 90, between calves and, the heifers and whatnot that I showed you in the heifer barn there. And matter of fact, he ended up buying the last 10 heifers himself and asked me if I'd feed them for another 2 weeks. And I said, yeah, that was it though. After 2 weeks, you're fucking coming and doing it, because we took Chelsea to Niagara Falls, the first ever vacation we took. So, and it just, so we decided to do the crop part. But for everybody that, oh, you fucking lazy crop farmers. Yeah, well, when you retire after your 25 years at whatever job you are, yeah, my 25 years ended a while ago at a job that I'll guarantee I put in a fuck of a lot more hours than you ever did. So that's what pisses me off when I hear those people. So you was into animal husbandry for a while. Yeah, well, I grew up on a dairy farm. Yeah, we know about Tiger Woods, Todd. I mentioned it earlier. I kind of feel sorry for the guy, because I'm sure he's on all sorts of pain shit that gets pushed to him, and he thinks it'll do. It's like my father. He had neuropathy so bad the last 15, 20 years of his life. I mean, he wanted to try every miracle thing there was out there. I remember there was one time they took him in, and for 5 IVs, like one a week or something, for 5 weeks in a row, they were like $5,000 each. It was going to be the miracle cure. Cure his neuropathy because of all the pain that he was in. Didn't do a thing for him. So, but the man never had serious pain until later in life. So I'm not patting myself on the back, so don't take this the wrong way, but I taught myself from my 20s to now to learn to deal with pain. What is it going to look like in 15 or 20 years for me? I don't know, but I'm not a drug addict because of it. So that's how I look at it. Because the drugs and the booze when I was in my 20s is what I lived on. So I am relating to the story you just told all too well, Andy. I want to make a change, but it is a scary thought. Yeah, it is. So, and the scary part is, I don't tell you guys acreage and all that shit, but back when we were milking cows, I worked a hell of a lot more acres than what I am now, even, because we were doing crops and cows. So, but I'm also 59 years old, so you know what? If I don't deserve to start slowing down some, then whatever. You be you, I'll be me. You're all entitled to your opinions. But in another 4 years or so, I don't know if we'll still be here. I don't want to still be here, to be honest. Chelsea doesn't want anything to do with the farm. I'm good with that. She's our only heir. It ain't like it ain't going to sell. Carl says, I still train karate 3 days a week, and don't get me wrong, I'm not the whirling dervish I was in my 20s. I just do it and maintain mobility and maybe be able to throw a decent punch. Yeah, and I walk a mile every morning. By the time I'm done, I've got at least 3 to 4 miles in steps for the day. During spring and summer and fall, it works out to be a lot more than that, but, golf keeps me somewhat mobile. I mean, so 8 back surgeries and 3 on my right shoulder and neck surgery. Yeah. My biggest problem was with me, because you don't, and I don't understand it all, but your growth plates or whatever they're called don't completely close until you're like in your early 20s. Well, when you cut yourself in half when you're 16 and they put Humpty Dumpty back together, you're still growing. So Humpty Dumpty grows not right. That's what happened to me, which is why I go to the chiropractor twice a week. So Dad sold a bunch of Springers in 1990, and for a few moments there was $15,000 cash on the kitchen table. Prices were good then. Maybe we should have sold them all. Lloyd Nace, Andy, anybody who puts in over 25 years in a certain job, you put in your bit for life, and now is the time to enjoy life. Well, that's the way I look at it. You drop dead tomorrow. I mean, my mother's going to be 94 this year. She's still here. My father made it to just shy of 89 by 2 months or whatever. I mean, so longevity ain't horrible in our family. If I kept smoking, my longevity probably be worse, but another reason why I quit and I'm not going back to it. But are you planning on planting? Oh yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. Don't take any of this as I'm done, because I'm not. I mean, yeah, I agree, James. It's sad to see what Tiger's become after what he was, but like I said, I feel sorry for the guy to a certain extent, because when you're that when you're one of the greatest athletes to ever walk the face of the earth, which you got to say he was, and then you go through what he went through physically, you got to think he wants to get back to that. Even though the man's now 50 years old, he turned 50 years old in December. He's never going back to that, but he wants a piece of that again. So, oh, take this drug, take this drug. It'll make you feel good. I mean, he's an endless bank to them drug pushers called doctors. So, well, good for you, Michael. You were 18 when I was born. You old fart. My discs are deteriorating faster than most people. Yeah, well, I have like three that no longer have those little titty sacks between them anymore, which is literally what they do, like the silicone boobs. Well, they can put those in your back too. I'm trying to avoid surgeries for as long as I can avoid them. So, Carl, my father died at 58. I'll be 58 this August. Well, my grandfather died at 56, so I passed that. So, the whole skip a generation thing, I figure I'm good with now. We milked cows for 42 years, sold the cows in 2011. The only thing I miss is the milk check. Well, sometimes. There was a lot of other times that the milk check didn't cover. We actually found out that there was a lot of times the grain part of the operation was helping to pay for the dairy part of the operation. Because back then, when grain prices were similar to what they are now, your inputs were a hell of a lot lower. So, which is something I'm going to get into here. I hope his son has golfing success. I think his son's going to be a hell of a golfer. Just like John Daly's son is becoming a hell of a golfer. Exactly, Tom. We don't know when it's going to be over, so. Yeah, we all wish we could kind of be what we were when we were younger, Anthony, but we also got to be smart enough to know we ain't never going to be that again. Now, tonight this thing's working great. The comments are staying up pretty much with how they're rolling through the phone. And it's way easier for me to read them on that screen than it is this screen. And I can do the horizontal thing. So, exactly, Lloyd. When it's your time, it's your time. Then we have Keith Richards, 150-year-old ex-drug. He's still kicking. Yeah. Well, shit, look at Ozzy. He made it to what, 76 or 7? That's about 30 more than he should have. So, Olin Brown. 3 things we can always count on Michael Brash saying: his age, from Vermilion County, Illinois, and married to Sally Joe. East Central Illinois here. We got him to stop saying that, because I kept telling him, we know where you're from. Yeah, my dad died the same age that I'm turning this year, 68. So if I could make it past my father, I'd be happy. Yep. What year did you quit milking? 2011. Wow, Lloyd, your mother died at 106. Holy shit. How is the not smoking going? Been 7 weeks for me. 102 days today, Edsky. I figured it up earlier because I stopped keeping track. I kept track for like the first know, 75, 80 days. But I have been blending beets, green apple, cucumber, ginger, kiwi, orange drink every day, feeling much better, and eat a lot of protein. Well, I call Barb the witch doctor. She makes, there's two different things that I drink like a little shot glass of every day. One of them I do twice a day. Can't tell you what's in it. Turmeric is one of the things or something, some root looking thing, and there's onion in the one, and there's all sorts of shit in them, and she says it's good for us, so I do it. But Dirty Eric, both my grandfathers died at 67 and 68. Could I be so lucky? Well, I'm reading Jimbo. Andy, it costs roughly $300, $350 an acre to plant rice in South Louisiana. What is average cost per acre to plant corn in upstate New York? Just curious. Depends on who you are and what you do. So there's some guys that are in them contests, yield contests, that they'll spend $1,000 an acre just to, win a trophy. But on average, probably a little more than that, 400, a little over 400, between 400 and 450. Depends on the price of fuel, which is obviously going to be higher right now. Fertilizer's obviously higher right now. All right, Andy, this is a random one, but what is that old World War II vet that used to comment here? Marvin Riker still around? No, I think I said it in one of the. I know I said it in one of the videos. Maybe it was a one more thing or something. No, Marvin died. Don't quote me. January 13th, January. It was right the early part of January. His son called me that day because Marvin and I had talked at Christmas Eve, maybe it was. I don't remember. And it was early January, I'm pretty sure, within the first 2 weeks. And he was in rough shape when the last that we had spoke. And he pretty much stopped texting because he couldn't text anymore. And his son called me that day because he knew, because his son watches too. And his, whatever you call her, CR or whatever Marvin called her, the nurse that stayed with him all the time, she called me that night too. I'm pretty sure it was a Tuesday, as a matter of fact, because I was playing poker that night. We played poker on Tuesday nights. And it was in the evening when his nurse called me, and she wanted to make sure that I knew. But yeah, old Marvin, he passed away, so he was 97 last October, I think it was. So, yep, Dirty Eric says you did mention his passing. I thought I did, but anyways, I've made it to 62 surgeries, tonsils, appendix, back surgery, and don't have a family physician. 2 packs of cigarettes and a 12-pack of beer every day and feel great. Well, God bless you there, Robert Nelson, but the 2 packs of cigarettes and 12-pack of beer every day might catch up to you. I had my appendix out in 1991. That was an experience. And I'm not going to bitch and tell you need to quit smoking because, like I've said in a previous video, I'll always consider myself a smoker because I look at it like a buddy of mine who's a recovering alcoholic, like 10 years. He, wait a minute, I'm watching right now, Riker 28, which, that was your dad's, wasn't it? Riker 28. So you're watching on his? I think it was Riker 28. I don't know. But yes, I miss old Marvin. I miss my talks with him. But my buddy who's a recovering alcoholic, like he said, he's an alcoholic. He hasn't drank in 10 years, but he's still an alcoholic. So, because it only takes that one time. One lonely farmer, are you still doing all the big square baling? Oh, is Wes in here? I probably missed his comment then. Oh, you're on his iPad. Okay, Lonnie. I didn't know if you wanted your name mentioned, so I didn't mention your name, but you just said your name, so. That's why I said his son called me. His son's name's Lonnie, but I didn't know if he wanted his name mentioned, so. I don't remember the name of the nurse, but I never, obviously I spoke to her for a very short period of time. Lonnie and I had a nice conversation when he called me. So, well, like Lonnie and I said, I mean, I think it's nice that you folks are all saying, sorry for your loss and all that. But when you're 97 years old, just like my mother, gonna be 94, you don't owe the world anything. You've had a hell of a good run. So, and Marvin even said that to me before. Here's what's weird, and I don't know if I mentioned this to you, Lonnie, when we talked, but it's like my dad before he passed, like 2 months before he passed. I just knew it was coming. Because, you have the things they say, you know what I mean? And Marvin's last month and a half, I knew it was coming. I mean, I was hoping he'd get through Christmas, which he did, but you could tell. And because it's like they come to peace with it. Marvin was saying the same things my old man did. Yeah, I'm ready to go. I've had a good life and tired of being in pain and shit like that. So, but yeah, apparently Wes is in here because a couple of you said good evening to him. So, Jeffrey Wolf, hi Andy, Jeff from PA. Love your videos. 166-year farm. I'm just about ready to throw the towel in. It's too bad health is getting me down. Yeah. Well, there's no sense in killing yourself doing it, That's like a lot of you, well, not a lot, but some of you have almost said, like, well, you can't sell the farm someday and retire. Chelsea's got to take it out. No, you don't force somebody to do something they don't want to do. Some other family will incorporate it into their farm. It'll still be a farm. It's like my mother said to me, she wants to die on this farm. That's the plan. I don't. Because that means this 2-pony operation will be pretty old and decrepit trying to do it. So that was the way my mother was. She was ready to go. Matter of fact, I think she was ready to go when she was 90s, but God decided he needed her instead for a little bit longer. Needed her here. Yep. Yeah, my mother's made the comment a few times that, she's getting ready and whatnot. So it'll be what it'll be. When the good Lord wants, he's going to take you. China will buy it. No, China ain't going to buy it, Jackie. Ohio sends condolences. So, my grandmother was 79 when she died. I was 10 years old when we went down to. No, excuse me. She was 79. She lived in Florida. When my mother and I went down to get her, I was 12 years old, I guess it was. And brought her back up here. There was a great nursing home, which, those, not sure they exist today, but just north of here in Oswego, that she was more than happy to go to. She loved it. She lived there. She had cancer. That's why we brought her back, because she was supposed to, she was supposed to die. She lived another 10 years. Put her in that nursing home. She loved it there. Loved the people there. Made all sorts of friends. Like I said, lived another 10 years. We brought her out here for all the holidays and shit like that. She was the grandma when you were a kid, when you were growing up, that you'd go up to and she'd pull out her change purse and hand you a nickel or a dime, and you thought you were rich, and that was big money. They were giving you a nickel or a dime, and God, how times have changed. Micron will buy it. Yeah. Well, you know what? If they want to buy it for the right price to put houses up, hey, So, life's journey isn't to arrive in the grave in a well-preserved body, but rather slide in sideways, screaming, "Holy shit, what a ride!" Yep. Uh, Maybe you can get some of them Elon Musk robots to run the farm for you when you get older. Yeah. So, Tom Anderson and Lee Harris are talking about calves and cows. Doug Fritzer's mom in 2020 she was 90. The Minnesotans will buy it and put 73 daycare centers on it. There you go. Yeah, I hadn't even paid attention how many people we got in. We had 499. All right. Only 277 if you'd done the thumbs up though. Slackers. So don't sell the dirt. They aren't building it anymore. Keep it as long as you can. Now, if another farmer buys it, the farm, it's still going to be farming dirt. So, the nickel and dime comment was spot on. Yep. No solar farm. Yep. Lee, your mom's 94 and doing well. I came into the world screaming, covered in someone else's blood, and probably check out the same way. Carl. Mark Calmer, what's up? Not afraid to die, but growing old and helpless scares the shit out of me. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Rob. Holy shit, Edsky. As you can tell, I, have names for certain people, but trying to pronounce Ed's last name, that's why he became Edsky. Calves are $2,300 by me in Wisconsin. Wow. They keep saying U.S. will run out of ammunition in Iran. Think it's true? They can say whatever they want. So here now we're going to delve into a few other things because I didn't know Barb was bringing those pictures. I piss people off. Yeah, Carl, you and I both tend to do that in my videos. I do it and then you help it along. Michael Heinen. Hey, Grumpy, hello from Cato, Ohio. Oh, somebody had to agree with you, Carl. James Bowman, have to agree, Super Gringo. I refuse to go into a nursing home. Nobody, me in a home. That was our family business for over 60 years. A nursing home, I know, and I ain't going to one, and we were a good nursing home. Yep. Unbelievable price, huh? Yeah, well, we'll see when the day comes. But anyways, first thing, I told you, Jimmy's not here because he's, it's his anniversary. But there's a caveat to all that, too. First thing I'm going to say is Jimmy and I are still neighbors. Jimmy and I are still friends. It'll always be that way. But you've noticed Jimmy hasn't been on social media at all. He doesn't do anything on his channel and whatnot. Well, he also texted me. He goes, I can't tell you what the text says exactly because it's on my damn phone. And my phone is filming me. Something about, I have nothing good to say anyway. I don't want to get your channel in trouble. Something about our overlord, Israel, So there's where Jimmy and I differ 100%. Always will until something ever is proven different on my part or for me and this may differ from some of you. You be you, I'll be me. But my common sense brain can't wrap around a 9 million people, a New Jersey, Israel being the size of New Jersey, supposedly running the world and running us, the country here. And Israel killed Charlie Kirk, and Israel did this, and Israel did that. And we're only in Iran because of Israel. Gee, that's funny when Trump has mentioned the fact that Russia gets all their drones that they've been using on Ukraine from, their suicide drones. I've said this in a previous video from Iran, well, if we fucking blew them all up, they're not going to get them. Look how friendly China's been lately. China's been buying a lot of beans. China's been real friendly. Why? Because China got a lot of cheap oil from Iran and Venezuela. Oh, Venezuela. Didn't we do something there too? Chess, not checkers. But the far right in this country, and sometimes I love the guy. I love Jimmy. Sometimes I think he's gone to the dark far right side. Can be just as good or just as brainwashed as the far left, and I think that's what's happening with the whole Israel thing. So you're right. Jimmy's a good dude. We're all entitled to our opinions. Yep, but I'm not going to get my channel canceled because of it. But I am curious what he's going to do when it comes time to vote for the governor, because the Republican candidate is Jewish, and they're not on the top of Jimmy's list right now. I'll just put it that way. So I'm just going to put it like that. Jim Lippy, I agree with Jimmy, but I listen to both sides. I do have to put myself in check when I've been drinking, though. And you be you, and I'll be me. Like I said, my common sense brain can't believe that. I mean, I've heard all the bullshit. They got sex videos of the Congress people and all that with 13-year-olds, like they're trying to blame Trump on Epstein Island and whatnot. And that's what they're holding over their heads. So when that congressperson retires, does Israel knock on the door of the new one that's elected and say, time for your video so that we can hold that over your head? Come on. New Jersey, folks. New Jersey. Michigan, maybe, because I think they only have 9 or 10 million people in it. Whatever. You be you. I'll be me. I'm going to kind of stay in the center. Am I pro-right, so to speak? Absolutely, because I'm pro-common sense. But it's like the Charlie Kirk thing, Israel, the latest one I heard was Israel told Donald Trump to have Charlie Kirk killed. What the fuck ever. You want to go there, go there. Whatever. Saw a thing the other day. It was, and this is no disrespect, because obviously, Carl, you're in. I've seen Dirty Eric, you're in, and whatnot. This is no disrespect to anybody in the military. God bless everyone who served this country. Doesn't mean I got to agree with you, and doesn't mean you're the smartest, most wonderful person in the world because you put a uniform on. But there was ex-military dude that, it was some sort of, little IED thing or whatever, that it's everything. It's everything. But what it probably is, because that's the fucking society we live in now. We have to come up with everything. I'm turning my TV back on, but the volume off because the basketball games are coming on, so I can at least see what the scores are. But I'm not going there. So, well, you can wish him a happy anniversary if you're going to do that, Michael. I've always believed that we should help Israel as far as the people go. The government I'm having problems with, but I still stand with Israel. I stand with our president and what he's doing. Here's a simple thing. Look up what country has ever dropped a nuclear bomb. We're the only ones. We're the only ones. 2 of them. What country should hate us for the rest of their lives, but don't? That country's basically an ally of ours. Japan. I mean, I don't know. I'm done with all the arguments on when it comes to that. I will never support the Israeli government. The people are normal like everyone else, and the government sucks just like everyone else's. And that's a valid point, Eric. That's a valid point. So I'm not going to argue with you on that one. I always ask for evidence, and then they go to name calling. Yeah, well, that's pretty evident. I mean, people like to bring up, and I get it because it happened. What was it, Help me out here, Carl. 1966, 68, 67, something like that. I can't even remember the name of the ship that Israel blew up, that or bombed, of ours, that maybe was an accident, maybe wasn't. Depends on who you talk to. And it's like everyone goes back to that they've been against liberty. Yes, thank you, Eric. Liberty, 67. They've been, our enemy ever since then. Again, I'll go to Japan. If there's anybody that should be our enemy. And then the whole, the whole Iran thing. We're only doing this because of Israel. Whatever. You be you. I'll be me. I'm looking at it from, I think what we're doing is pretty fucking handy to get a little stranglehold on Russia and China. And it's like the gas prices and everything. I've had this argument, about the gouging and all that. That's because that's all over the news now is Iran, Iran, Iran. It was either today or yesterday that I read this because I get these news emails. Did you see that Russia just dropped the most bombs on Ukraine in one day that they have during the entire, whatever it's been, 4 years that war has been going on? Probably this might be the first you've heard of it right now, me telling you, because it's not all over the news. What was the reason for gas being $5 back during the Ukraine war? Yeah, we had the Ukraine war and inflation. Now all we hear about, like I just said in yesterday's video, is 1/5 of the world's oil is, that's why gas prices are up. The Japanese hate nuclear weapons. They appreciate the U.S. for making Japan what it is today. Exactly. I mean, my point is, you can come up with anything you want to come up with. And if you can push that hard enough, one of you right now could go on the internet, make up whatever you want about me. I'm the worst person in the world. Make up any kind of stories, whatever. And if you can get that snowballing and snowballing and snowballing, eventually you're going to have millions of people believing it. Because what is human nature? People want to believe. People want to watch. There's certain podcasters that I used to watch that I don't anymore. And I'm not going to say they're horrible people, but I can't stand Candace Owens anymore. What she's doing to Erica Kirk, I mean, she's a fucking nut job. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, go look at one of my Instagram stories that I put up today that Dan Bongino had. We're this close. We're this close. We're this close. Candace Owens been this close to proving that, whoops, got my foot caught in the cord. Sorry. Oh, get my foot out of the cord, put the phone back up. Candace Owens has been this close for, I don't know, going on 2 years now. Well over a year of proving that Israel and Erica Kirk had her husband murdered. But she's also got millions of people following her who are, yeah, you go, Candace. We believe you. Whatever. You too could be the next Candace Owens. How are we going to be the next Candace Owens? I'm a little confused with that. But whatever. You be you again. It's about clicks, not truth. Exactly, Carl. I was getting to that until Jim Lippy said something about you two could be the next Candace Owens. I don't get that one, but speak more clearly, Jim. But exactly. I'm not going to tell you what I'm making on YouTube. It's not a lot of money. But when I look at one of my videos that gets, I don't know, 10 or 15,000 views, and they pay so much per 1,000 views, depending on what ads you get in, I don't get the primo ads because, I do things like this and say, fuck. The goody two-shoes get the primo ads. So then I let the wheels turn up here because one thing farmers are good at is math. And I go, these people that are getting hundreds of thousands of views on a video, they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. I'm just telling you. Do you think they're getting home at 6 o'clock at night or 5 o'clock at night, eating their supper, taking a shower, sitting down and doing this at 7 o'clock as their second job? No, they're not. Because they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars, getting the people's minds twisted to what they have to say. Grumpy, you are one of the few that I agree with. I don't give it, thank you, but I don't give a shit if people agree with me, disagree with me. That's why I love some of the haters, because they actually push the algorithm, because they love to, if you watched yesterday's video, the Jones twin that I talked about, who's one of my top commenters, he hasn't commented yet. And I bet you it's just eating him alive that son of a bitch mentioned me. I'm pushing his algorithm. I've commented over 100 times on his channel. I want to say so much, but damn it, I can't because, whatever. I mean, they crack me up. You're right, Carl. They never bring evidence. That's the thing. It's like Adam Schiff. Candace Owens is Adam Schiff. She's this close. She's this close. She's this close. You're that close for how many years now? Or however many, 15 months, whatever it's been since Charlie died. Year and a half, whatever it's been. this close, or not year and a half, whatever it's been. She's this close. Sounds like Adam Schiff, remember? He had the goods on Trump and Russian collusion. When you gonna show us, Adam? When Trump's dead? I mean, just curious. Yeah, they tell you how they feel, but no one asked. Exactly. I can watch someone I disagree with, but once they start harping on something for way too long, I'm done. Exactly. They go on and on. Lots of bots making viewer numbers false. Well, you can say that. I get it, there are bots, but that's another thing that's been pounded into people's heads. Because you can look up, too, what I've looked up, like, some of the big farming channels, how much money they make, and I'm not saying it's true, but you can find a YouTube video that'll tell you that certain ones are making, $200 and some $1,000 a year. That's a pretty good chunk of change. Let the loonies make you money and smile. Yeah. Well, we aren't getting rich off this, okay? Let's put it this way for the person who was pinned in my video that came out yesterday. So if you haven't watched yesterday's video, when we're done tonight, go back. I don't give a shit if you watch it. Just go back for a minute or two and read the pinned comment. Because that was an asshole comment right there. That this guy owned 60 acres or whatever it was, tillable acres, and he wanted to become a crop farmer so he could take golf vacations and his daughter could go to a $62,000 a year college and all this. Fuck you. Because first of all, what little money I'm making on here paid for my golf vacation. Yeah, so it didn't come out of the farm. And my golf vacation didn't cost that much because it was me and a buddy who split it to start with. So, matter of fact, I'll tell you one thing. It cost us $1,000 for the condo we stayed in. So that was $500 each. For those of you who play golf, you can try and figure out the rest. We played one round a day except for one day when it was shitty weather. So, and we go to the grocery store when we're down there. We had ham and cheese sandwiches a lot during the night, evenings, rather than going out to eat every night. So it wasn't some big elaborate. But then the $62,000 a year private school that my daughter's going to. Private school, it's Lemoyne. I gotta read some of the comments. Anyways. First of all, it doesn't even cost that much if a kid is staying on campus with room and board. She drives the 30 miles back and forth each day. So which is why she's going in tonight and she's staying with Joe, her boyfriend, because they got to be on a bus at 5:45 tomorrow morning to go to Pennsylvania for a track meet. And it's going to be a high of like 30 30 or 31 tomorrow. Hopefully it's maybe pushing 40 in Pennsylvania. But it just, whatever. Some people. Michael Hines, I don't get the corn star where he's getting all his money. Build that grain storage and remodel his house. I don't get it. Well, he took out a hell of a loan for the grain storage. He said that on a video. I don't watch him anymore. For that $1 million thing that he went a lot of shortcuts. But I'll pretty much guarantee that he's making $100,000 to $200,000 a year on ScrewTube. Easy to shit on someone else. Yes, it is. According to him, it was a joke after he was destroyed 30 times. I didn't go back, Carl, so I don't know if he's made any more. I really didn't care. How stupid are you to make a statement like that, though? On this channel, of all channels. To me, of all people. With you, of all people who come into the comments. So, Dirty Eric, $20. Have some more of my goober money. Well, thank you, Eric. Yeah, it's bad enough it's me you're making the comment to, so you're going to get your ass ripped. But then you're here, Carl, to, Carl's like that cousin who comes to visit but never leaves type of thing when on my channel, I mean, you could almost call this partially Carl's channel or something because he's here all the time. And it would be nice if some of those people would try to go over to Carl's and fuck with him, but they don't. So, because they know better. Are we watching your girlish figure? The cornstarch probably got government loan to do it. What the fuck? Are you watching your girlish figure? What do you mean? Well, if you saw the pictures from back when we had cows, I had a much slenderer figure. But Sarah Priest, $9.99. Thank you, Sarah. Priest Farms? Is that the name of your guys' YouTube? I think that's all it is just Priest Farms, isn't it? You guys should go check that out. Her husband doesn't put videos up on a regular basis like I try to. But I sat with her hubby and father-in-law yesterday at the spray meeting, which I'm going to get into that here in a second too. Eating light on vacation. Oh, that's what you meant? No, it's called saving some money. I mean, I think we spent $40 the first night going to the grocery store buying a loaf of bread, some Hillshire ham and turkey, some condiments, a couple boxes of, Chips Ahoy cookies, and a thing of Lipton. I found a new thing, Lipton iced tea, peach flavored. That was awesome. It was awesome. Yes, Priest Farms, and you're welcome, sir. Yes, Priest Farms. Check them out. Like I said, he doesn't put videos out a lot, but he puts some out. He works with some cool old equipment. You'll see an old Gleaner combine in there. Cut my teeth on one. That was my first ever combine. Right now I've got a bunch of loony leftist atheists losing their minds because I simply pointed out that they do an awful lot of complaining about something they don't believe in. God dang it all, I keep catching my foot on the phone cord. That's a true statement though, Carl. What? And no beer? Nope. I had a couple beers when we went out to Hooters. The last night we were there, we went to Hooters to eat. I had a beer that night, and I think I had a beer one other day, but no. That trip is strictly to go play golf, go have some of the most awesome prime rib, because there's places down there that are phenomenal with their prime rib. Have a little seafood. Got that covered, the prime rib, the seafood. Chick-fil-A a couple times. That was when we get done golfing at 6 at night. We're on our way back. It's March Madness, so we obviously wanted to watch basketball. We'd swing into the Chick-fil-A drive-thru. We don't go down there for... It ain't a drunk fest. It ain't, haven't been to a Hooters in 25 years. Note to self. Well, the best one I ever went to was Daytona Beach, because... Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Yeah, my God. Yeah, they've spent like 6 hours losing their shit over something they don't believe in. I haven't been to a Hooters since just before I left Iraq, or for Iraq in 2005. Pizzola Beach had some nice candy. Oh, the one in Daytona was like, woof. But anyways, the spray meeting that I went to with the priests yesterday, not Sierra. I'm that guy, There's whatever there was, 50, 60 farmers in the room. At least half of them are all thinking the same thing I am, but don't want to ask the question. Well, I'm the dick that'll always ask the question. The Dick Steele road trip next week, Saratoga, Wyoming. Gonna help Don move some stuff back here. Well, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, most of the Hooters, there's a lot of Hooters that have gone out of business, but they still got one down there, and they do good business. But anyways, this spray meeting, like I explained earlier, getting the points, all the bullshit. They literally, it was like they were justifying the price of fertilizer going up. All this shit. It's because of the Iran war, blah, blah, blah. The guy had a chart. Well, here's where we're on 2022, ammonia went up to $1,045. It was because of the Ukrainian war and all this. So my question was the obvious one. When the fuck did the Russia-Ukraine war end? Well, it, really hasn't. Oh, okay. But then he milled around a little with, things have gotten, little Russia can do this. And did I answer your question? No, not really. Because it goes back to that. Lloyd Nace, $20. Thank you, sir. I'm loving the computer tonight because it's showing up at the same exact time as this. Not a nightmare like it was the last time I did this. Love your show. You do great work. You remind me a lot of my father. He, too, very outspoken, didn't put up with the bullshit. Maybe that's why I'm the way I am. And I know I'm getting worse, but that's all right. Makes life fun. There's nothing wrong with being a good asshole. Okay, there's assholes, and then there's bad assholes, and there's good assholes. If you're the bad asshole, you're just an asshole to everybody all the time. But I'm a good asshole. If I have to be a bad asshole, it's a short period of time, and the person deserved it. But anyways, this guy was going on, and when he asked, did I answer your question? I said, no, not really. Because, like I've said, it's a fucking totem pole. I've said this a million times, I'll keep saying it. Better to just be a dick. I read that one on my phone. These companies are going to make what they made last year, or 1 or 2 or 3% more. And if it rolls down on us, it rolls down on us. To make sure they do. That's this industry. That's not me whining. That's me explaining, like I have a million times, how this industry works. So, because he also made the comment about, prepaying in the fall. Well, then, during lunch break, I'm outside and I'm talking to some of the farmers who are going, these fuckers told us not to prepay last fall because the price would probably be lower this spring. But we had the war to ramp up those prices, even though that other funny war that made prices go up 4 years ago is still going on. Yeah, which was my point. They don't need much of an excuse. Prices were starting to go up. Tina Schertzinger, $50. Holy shit, Tina. Thank you. You were here last time, if I remember. I'm not, God, don't take this the wrong way. I almost said it without prefixing this, because I think you did that twice. And I think you're fairly new. I'm not trying to get you to do it twice. That's why I just said what I said, because I sound like an asshole if I said it without saying that. But that would be the bad asshole. But are you fairly new, Tina? Because I think that's the name I remember that did that last time I did a live stream. Very appreciated. Thank you very much. Very appreciated to any of you who do something like that. So, because you don't have to, and I appreciate it that you do. So, maybe I'll make as much money as the millennial farmer. Yeah, I don't think so. But, and I don't have anything against him, don't get me wrong. I've met Zach before. I actually think they're good farmers, their family. But he's using this platform for a good reason, and he ain't as clean elsewhere as he is on this platform. He's real elsewhere. I'm not saying he's not real on this platform, but he's smart. He knows how to make money on this platform. I'm just gonna be me on any fucking platform. I'm not gonna change who I am. I'm too old for that shit. So, but anyways, like I said, the meeting just seemed like a nonstop justification for why we jack prices. He was talking about like the prepay, and well, the prepay price, those people are safe. And then in the next breath, talking about how all this fertilizer needs to come in from, up here in Oswego on boats, into the port and whatnot. Because it's not like these places in New York have all this fertilizer in already stored up. You get my point? It's still coming in whether you prepaid or didn't. It's, I don't know. It's changing the channel right now. I'm finding the other game. Because one is at halftime. I don't know. No, God, I don't want the women's. This profession we're in is never going to change. It's gone to the dark side of the big corporations. And I'm not talking the corporate farms, as a lot of people like to talk about. Because out of all the farms out there, 99.9% of them are family farms. I don't care if they're milking 5,000 cows, working 10,000 acres. It's multiple generations of families. It's 3 or 4 brothers that work together. They had kids. They're still family farms. Just because they're huge doesn't make them corporate farms. There are, yes, but it's the corporations that we have no choice. We have to deal with. We have to have the seed. We have to have the fertilizer. We have to have the fuel. It's one of the geniuses in yesterday's video. He must either own a gas station, Mile Zero or Zero Mile or whatever the fuck your name is. If you're here, you won't speak. Like Carl said, none of you will speak in a live stream. He was all just pro, why gas prices go up. There's such a small margin at a gas station. I'm not saying they're getting rich, don't get me wrong. But he just went on and on. It's funny, on our golf trip, one of the 2 things we see being built all the time down there: housing, condos, townhouses, stuff like that, and gas stations. So then, of course, he was like, well, those gas stations have convenience stores, with the little towns like I live in don't have a convenience store in it. But they got a successful gas station who usually has some of the cheapest gas. But Kurt McIlvain found it, subscribed. Not sure what you're talking about. Maybe it's Priest Farms, but that's cool. Oh, gotta be a Edsky, gotta be a catalyst, I reckon. Oh, because you started yeah. Brenda, Mike Dormiller, have you listened to Zach Kahn running for governor of Iowa? I think he might be okay. I don't pay a ton of attention to the other. I mean, this is a scary enough state right now with, when our fucking governor literally, what was it, 2 years ago? Well, that's right, you millionaires, get out. Move to South Beach. We don't need you. And then just recently, well, we need the millionaires who are patriots to come back to New York State to help, finance our wonderful, generous social programs. She literally said those words. Our generous social programs. You mean funding of the illegals there, Kathy? Those $500 a night hotels you kept them in, the EBT cards, the debit cards, Yeah. Yeah, come on back, millionaires, and help the rest of us pay for that, will you? But Micron's going to save New York. All right, got to read a few more comments here. Priest farms, like you said, farmers will always be at the bottom of the totem pole. Yeah, exactly. So until, and I don't think it'll ever happen, we band together and say, if we don't turn a key across this country some spring, watch the world, not just this country, the world drop to their knees. Dairy farmers dump their milk for, I don't know, a month. Watch, there'll be a lot of knee dropping, and it won't be bending to the bullshit that knees were bent to, by Nancy Pelosi and the rest of them in Congress. So, because here's what, it's like when they say, oh, Social Security's going to run out, Social Security's going to run out. How come welfare's never going to run out? It's always a scare that Social Security's going to run out, but we can put them in those $500, the illegals in those $500 hotel rooms. Give them those EBT cards and all that shit. We never hear about that shit running out. And we always hear when grain prices are low, well, you fucking grain farmers, you overproduce. It's your fault. But yet we hear about starving people around the world. Well, wait a minute. Do we have an abundance of food? Or do we have starving people? I'll bet you if we never turned a key for 1 year, we'd find that out real quick. I'm sorry, a lot of you would find that out real quick too, unfortunately. But, because it's pretty hard to believe that we could have an abundance of food. Oh, we got a hater in, Jaden Versteeg. Yay, yay. Yeah, whiny mommy's boy. Really? Okay. How old are you, Jaden? You sitting in your mother's basement right now? Waiting for your meatloaf sandwich? Yep, I'm a whiny mama's boy because I actually take the time to point things out. You may not agree with me, and I'm not telling you you have to agree with me, but you can also look shit up if you'd like. Matter of fact, Carl, here's one for you. I don't remember if I read this today or yesterday, or it was recently. Like I said, I get all these news emails. That's one way I stay kind of up on things if I'm not around to, actually watch something news-wise. I think it was 2023. In the fall of 2023, after harvest, we were like 23% below the 5-year average or something like that for grain stocks on hand. Well, how did we get to where we got in 24 then? And how with a record crop in 25, which I'm going to mention something there here in a second, a record crop in 25, have we seen nothing but crop prices going up since Donald Trump took office? Now, they haven't skyrocketed, but the last time I got $12.42 a bushel for beans, it was actually higher than that during the Biden administration for a short period of time. Got into that argument with somebody on maybe my last video, I don't remember. You know why it was? Because of the phase 1 deal that China had signed with Trump. Then Biden took over. And because you remember in 18, I think it was, farmers were bitching like they have been lately, unfortunately. Trump gave us money And the deal was signed. Commodity prices went up really good. Shit, I think beans hit $17. What did Sleepy Joe do? Sleepy Joe didn't hold China's feet to the fire. What did China do? Right there, United States. What did grain prices do? Where were they in the fall of 24 versus now? I've made that point too. It's a point. You don't have to believe me, but if you look it up, are you going to not believe what you look up if it tells you the same thing that I just told you? Hate me all you want. Call me whiny mama's boy, whatever the fuck he just said. I don't even remember. Oh, wait, is he back? No, message retracted this time. So whatever he said, he retracted it. So, all thanks to Grumpy Trumpy. Oh, God, throw him out, please, somebody. You know, that's why, if you notice the title of the video tonight, Trump, 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 Trump. Because that's what people like Jaden and them, that's all it is for them. Trump, 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 Trump. You know, Carl, it's like the one guy who left the diatribe in yesterday's video about, well, first I want to say this and this and this and this and this. Like Carl says, just come out and say, I hate Trump. Get it over with. Well, I don't hate Trump. You just literally went through this diatribe about, you know, it's like, don't piss on my leg and tell me it's fucking raining. Do we have some trolls in here tonight? No, we just got one idiot so far, I guess. Message deleted. No, don't delete him. Just boot him for whatever. With Medicaid, it's like 51%. They're not going to look it up, Grumpy. I know they're not going to look it up. Because they're afraid of reality. They'd rather go Trump, 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 Trump. So, no mas, yeah. No, they won't take the time to do the research and look it up. All they do is just listen to their local YouTube channel and believe everything they hear. Exactly. Or the lamestream media, which we all know is in the left's pocket. Or vice versa when you stop and think about that. You're not afraid of cheeseburgers, that's for sure. Oh, we got another one, I think. Oh, come on, call me chubby like the one guy who did for a while. He hasn't been back for a while after most of you all trashed him. Obviously, you weren't here for the beginning of the video when I milked cows for 25 years and I was actually quite fit and fiddle and strong and would have kicked your fucking ass up over your shoulders in a heartbeat. Like I probably still could today, but, you know, I'm not entitled to, you know, where I am in life now, though. Apparently. As always say after they say I'm not a leftist, if you're reading from the same script, you're in the same fucking play. Exactly. So, careful, Greg. Yeah. Some of these people are just, but that's all they got. You notice that? That's all they got. How many times for the last, 3 years or whatever, has Jimmy and I begged people like these two idiots to come in and give, you know, give some substance as to why everything is Trump's fault and why everything was so great under Obama or Biden. You know, it's like the Iran thing. Who gave them the power to enrich? That was under Obama, right? Who sent them pallet loads of $100 bills? Is that Trump's fault? And here's the other thing that cracks me up. Oh, this is the most, you know, non-transparent president in the world or we've ever had and blah, blah, blah. Holy fuck, this is the most, too much transparency president in the world. How many news conferences, basically, did you ever see Biden do on Air Force One with all the news people that Trump lets on there? The man is constantly talking to the media. Too much. And if he isn't, then we have the leakers, you know. I'm not even going to get into the Joe Kent thing. Thank you, Joe Kent, for being the awesome superstar you apparently were in the military. But after that, that's where my thanks end for Joe Kent. So, I agree, Dirty Eric. The problem is, it's not directly. I agree and I disagree. Yes, it probably is funding the Taliban because it's being stolen from where it's supposed to go. And that shit needs to be taken care of too. But how do we do that? If we go in with any kind of force, what's Trump going to be dealing with then? You know, we got the wuss bags in Congress now that want to shut him down for what he's trying to do in Iran. So it's a no-win situation because we got a president that actually would like to get shit done. Exactly, Betty. If Trump doesn't speak to the president, they think he's on his deathbed. Yep. Or if the man gets caught closing an eye, dozing off a little at what, 79 years old, or I think he'll be 79 in June or whatever. Excuse me. Oh my God, look at him. The guy gets like 4 to 5 hours of sleep a night. Sleepy Joe was lucky to be awake 4 to 5 hours a day. Tina Schertzinger, no, Grumpy, been with you from almost the beginning. My husband started watching you and told me about you. We just love you and appreciate all the hard work you and your family put in. Well, I appreciate that. You obviously don't comment a lot on videos, which is fine. Don't get me wrong. I'm not, because, are you still going, Grumpy? Still going where? I'm still here. Towball he's old fossil on Instagram. Him and I have some fun with each other, sending each other some really shitty Instagrams. Like blah, 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 blah. And at the very end, it says, and you're gay or something. Or if you watched all of this, then you know you're gay. And I have some people I have a lot of fun with on social media. But if you also noticed, how many other people go through their comments? Most of them give a heart to the first 30, maybe comment to one of the first 10, and they never see anybody's comments after that. I put myself through the misery of going through not most, pretty much all comments. And no, it's not miserable because a lot of you are great. Don't get me wrong. But if you don't think that doesn't take some time, it does. Doesn't chocolate milk come from jerseys? Yeah, there's people out there that think it does. So, president will be 80 in June. Okay. I knew he was 79 or 80, Lonnie, or coming up on it. So, that is where that stuff comes from. Yeah. Yep. Hey, Chelsea had kids in her class when she was a little kid. When they come over to visit and go out to the barn, they would ask that question: Is that where chocolate milk comes from? Of course, I've always told you guys my daughter is the, female version of me, scary, and of course she'd run with that, tell him yes. If it wasn't for his stuck combine, I wouldn't have had the chance to visit him. Jimmy also. You know what sucks about that video is we got copyrighted because of the cool music that Barb put to that video. That was basically our first real video, which, God, I haven't been back to it in 2 years, 3 years. I don't know. Somebody wants to take the time, go back to it right now and tell me how many views it's got. Last I looked, it was like 200,000. So I don't have a clue what it's up to. But it got a shit ton of views. I started all of a sudden in the first, I don't know, 2-3 weeks, I had 500 subscribers. I knew nothing about YouTube. I'm like, the fuck does this mean? What am I supposed to do? Well, that means you got a channel now. You need to put up more content. I'm like, I've never done social media in my life. I don't want to make content. Next thing you know, I'm at 1,000 freaking views or subscribers. And I'm like, okay, I guess we're a YouTube video or channel. And I remember some of my first videos after that. Oh my God, I was like, hi, I'm the Grumpy Farmer. You can also call me Andy. I'm Andy Dennison. I'm from Cato, New York. I mean, I was just like, after about 3 videos, I was like, fuck this. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to be me. And of course, it was during the, you know, ban all bad people time of social media, because if you weren't part of the agenda. So, and then Trump became president again, and the lawsuit started, and you know, little peckerhead there that owns Instagram and Meta had to go in front of Congress, and people had to be put back on YouTube, which is why Candace Owens is rich now too, because she had been thrown off, because at that point she was like, you know, all pro Trump and all this stuff, and that got her thrown off of YouTube, and then she had to be put back on because YouTube had to, you know, it's called equal rights. We all have the First Amendment, not just whatever the agenda that social media wants to push. And I was never allowed to monetize because I read you guys the email, which I actually have a picture of, but I can't get to because I'm filming with my phone. That, oh, what did Sammy W say? He must have said something bad. It was knocked off by Adam a couple times, that I was harmful content and discuss controversial issues. Wasn't that the object of discussing issues? They're controversial, and there's this side and this side, and you debate. But then Trump came back, and for whatever reason, that one day, and I wish I had done it a week before, because it was the end of August. It was right after the tractor door video, the window. That video got like 120 or 30,000 views. I would have made some good money on that video. About a week after, I was pissed off one day, and I was like, fuck it. I pushed, you know, the button to, you know, try and get monetized again. And all of a sudden, I was welcome to the YouTube partner plan, or whatever they call it. Partner platform, I don't know. Didn't change a thing about the channel. I'm still me. Now, I know I don't get the good ads that bring in the bigger money, but whatever. Never did this to get rich or make money. The fact that we make a few bucks, great. So, I mean, to be honest, you don't have to believe me if you don't want to. We do this because of you people. Because it's fun interacting. It's fun doing these and reading comments and stuff like that. I've gotten to know a lot of cool people. So, and when it's over, it'll be over. But Adam thought the Genesee River was where the beer came from when he was little. That was cute. He used to steal my father's Genesee cream ale. That was the first beer I ever drank. God, that was nasty shit. But we were going to drink beer. Oh. I think the first video I watched of yours is when you got the combine stuck. You were pissed. I was sicker than a dog back then. That was a 2-day event over Thanksgiving. On Thanksgiving Day at like 2:30 is when we got that out. And all them people that were helping down there, you know, the pictures, the videos, the excavators, the log skidders that actually ended up being the thing that got it out, the 2 log skidders, you know, bunch of farmers and other people on a fucking Thanksgiving Day, shitty day at that, snowing and nasty, together helping us get our combine pulled out. So, Josh Wellner, what's up? But you're the t-shirt grifter. Yeah, I'm a t-shirt grifter too, but whatever. I don't even have one on tonight. I got one of my old Denison Farms ones on. Not a very good grifter tonight. Oh. Good evening from North Carolina. Exactly, Carl. They never have their own channel. And every time I tell them, well, if you got all this proof about, you know, Trump and a 13-year-old and all this, put it on your channel. I don't have a channel. I'm just on YouTube so I can watch stuff and make comments. Well, then sit down and shut up, because Carl says the first video of yours I watched was they called me a racist. Well, you came in at a good one there. That was when I was on the legislature, and you know, TYEW 9092. You started with the combine video. Yep, so you started at the beginning. Midway Farms, great live stream. Good night. Good night. Glad you were here. You can debate on this channel if you have a good argument. Just don't be a shithead. Exactly. I mean, but don't come in with, that's why, like I said, that's why I called it Trump, 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 because that's what they do. Which is probably why a few of these haters whose names I don't really recognize, so they're probably just off the street, so to say, that, you know, saw this live stream, saw the title, and they hate Trump, so they had to come in and, oh, let's go in and bash this guy. He's obviously a Trump guy. Yes, if some of you didn't know, the super gringo, who's Sean Armstrong, who we call Carl, you've all pretty much got used to hearing him being called Carl here. That's a, you know, military thing between him and Jimmy, but he'll forever be Carl to me now, anyhow. So Carl writes books, so go check him out. Great hanging out with you folks. Got to work now. No problem. Glad that some of y'all stayed in. Oh, Eric, you did go look for me. Thanks, bud. 233,000 on that now. No shit. Wow. So that's my all-time video. Funny, the first one. Well, I won't say the first one because I think Barb actually put. It's weird how it came on. There's 2 or 3 that are on before it, maybe, that are just little short 20 or 30-second blips of like the farm or something. It was our first real video that, and it was made so the people that helped us could see it, and it turned into this. So I can agree to disagree with anybody. Trump isn't the greatest, but he's a lot better than the alternative. Exactly. Well, talking about the transparency thing and all that, it's like everyone who's bitching about the Epstein files, everyone who's bitching about there's not enough arrests for, you know, there's been, I think there's like over 300 arrests now in Michigan for fraud shit. There's over 100 in Minnesota for fraud shit. Are we at the top now? Have we got Tim Wall, you know, Tampon Timmy in jail like I'd like to see, and so would everybody else? No. But it's no different than you watch these cop shows and movies and stuff like that. You know, they get the low-level drug dealer. Well, they wind up using the low-level drug dealer to go to the next level, to the next level, to the next level. Things take time. But can you imagine if Harris and Walls had won? You would know nothing about all this fraud. You would know nothing that Doge dug up. Has everything that Doge dug up been taken care of? No. Will it all? Probably not, being honest, in my opinion. But you wouldn't even have known about any of that fucking shit. Because you didn't know about it under Biden. You wouldn't know about it under Harris. You wouldn't know about it under the next Democrats that unfortunately will probably get elected. Why? Because the so-called right and MAGA have their fucking heads up their ass so far that everything's got to be done yesterday. So sit on your ass in November and watch the country go to fucking shit after that. And then when you open your fucking mouth, guess who I'm going to slam for it? So if any of you, I'm not trying to be an ass, but if any of you fall in that category, you'll be some of the ones that I'll be slamming for it. Jeff Weinstock, what's up? Mads Bookman, good evening. We from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, owning a small construction, and we agree with pretty much everything you say. I love when people say that because I always joke with them. Like, somebody will say, I agree with you 98%. And I'll say, well, what the hell's wrong with the other 2%? Joking. I had one person one day get pissed at me when I said that. Well, I don't have to agree with you 100%. You were obviously, whoever you were fairly new. Hell, you may not even still be here, but because you hadn't figured me out yet, that was a joke. I think I even put a laughing emoji in there. But I always say you don't have to agree with me. But if you're going to disagree with me, at least look up something that I said and prove me wrong and say, Well, what you said is bullshit because, blah, blah, blah. Rather than Trump, 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 Trump. Lee Harris, with the horizontal streams like this, only subscribers can come in here unless it shows up in their recommendations, unlike the vertical streams when you can scroll through live streams. Oh, yeah, I didn't know that. So what you're saying is I need to do it the other way anyhow. And you'll still see me. I'll just be smaller. See, this way you actually get like 2 deer in the picture, instead of part of one. So, well, if you don't mind me being vertical, next time I'll do it vertical. But I also, in YouTube Studio, get to see how people see my videos. And to be honest, YouTube recommendations, I get a shit ton of views from that. I get a lot of subscribers that don't watch, and I'm like that. I've got channels that I've subscribed to that I don't watch very much anymore. It makes it harder when you're fought every step of the way. Exactly. Trump's fought about everything every step of the way because he's got rhinos that fight him on everything. I wonder who the Trump haters are going to hate when Trump's term is over. Well, I hope it's either, well, how do I say this? Because I know some people are on the fence about it. The smart thing for the Republican Party to do would be to back J.D. Vance. I'm just going to put that out there. My opinion, again. Do I like Marco Rubio? Yes, I do. Is there maybe one or two others that wouldn't be a horrible choice? Yes. But to turn the 28 election into a shit show and have 10 or 15 of them up there on the stage tearing each other apart like the Democrats will do, and then all of a sudden they're all best of friends afterwards, would be stupid on my part, or in my view. So I say J.D. Vance, but I don't mind that, Betty. Vance, Stephen Miller, keep Rubio and Secretary of State. I was thinking Vance, Rubio, but I definitely think Rubio should be involved. Edsky, next month, another 15 billion coming. I don't know what you're talking about there. So you'll have to clarify that. But we'd have plenty of daycares. Yeah. Rubio should stay right where he is. He's doing a fantastic job. I agree, Josh. That's what I said. I like what Betty said. I don't have a problem with that. And I said Rubio needs to be involved. But I just think if you take... Oh, I didn't know that. Carl, you said J.D. Vance said he isn't running. Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know he'd come out and said that yet. But it just seems like the smart play would be for J.D. Vance. But if he says no, then okay, Edsky, USDA money. Oh, why did Trump announce some new, because of Iran, because of fertilizer prices and all that? We get to be called welfare queens again. Great. I mean, don't get me wrong, I ain't gonna lie to you. Like that 1242 beans that I told you about? Well, with the input costs the way they are, probably ain't making any more money than when they were $9.50, at least $2 or $3 less than what they are right now. But a lot of the jacking of the fertilizer price was coming before. My anhydrous, like I told you, I think a couple videos ago, was already $140 some dollars more than what it was last year before we went into Iran. So why? Because commodity prices went up a little. So the big corporations go, oh, look, the farmers are going to get a little more. We got to take 80% of that from... We wouldn't want them to make a full profit of what the commodity prices went up. I mean, like it or not, the only industry in the world, you can argue with me if you want, but we sell wholesale, we buy retail, we pay the freight both ways. Somebody tells me when I'm going to get paid for things. Now, marketing is important. I already have some beans sold for this coming fall. Yes, I know there's people who don't want to sell. I'm not going to sell what I haven't already planted. Well, I'm not fucking selling the whole 100% of my crop. But if you can market 20, 30, 40% at a good price, that's why you have crop insurance. Generally, you don't have a 100% loss to start with. So I've got some beans sold for fall when they got above $11. Because I haven't sold beans in the fall for above 9 something in like 3 or 4 falls. So now he could change his mind. What am I missing here? Jim Lippy, stupid phone. I have over 600 YouTube subscriptions. That's why I never get notifications. Holy shit, dude. Pooh Guru, we've all forgotten. Don't argue with an idiot. They can't understand you anyway. Yeah. Now he could change his mind. I don't know what you're talking about, Carl. I've probably missed some comments. And then Eric says, be careful. That is my government money pot. Ask the people bitching about payments. How much is their health insurance a month? Yeah. How much is their property taxes too? Retired dozer operator here. Discovered you from your stuck combine video. You put my cat seat underwater once. Skidder yanked me out. Yep. I know Rubio said he would not challenge Vance if he was running, which would be smart. But doesn't mean there won't be some other idiot that would. It was freezing here in Michigan. It was cold today here. It was 29 degrees. And yesterday, before the cold front came through in late afternoon and it started raining, it was like 63. That's what kills this old decrepit body. Like the chiropractor explained this morning, the whole barometric pressure thing. And basically, you're going to live with it the rest of your life. Thanks, dude. Kind of already knew that. At least when my family used to sell fuel, we can buy fuel in bulk when it was cheaper and then sell it when the price was high later on in the year and make a little extra money. Well, that's like my argument with, gas stations. Oil goes up, so overnight they raise their price 10 cents. Well, that 5,000 gallons they got stored in their underground tanks or whatever, 3,000 gallons that they bought a day or two before that, cheaper. Now they're selling for a dime more. But when it goes the other way, they don't drop it a dime overnight. They wait 3-4 days or whatever till they get rid of that gas that's in there. Then they drop their price. So you're never going to convince me that there's not gouging involved. Capitalism, I guess. 28 is a ways out. If I'm dead by then, make sure I vote Vance. Okay, Rob. Well, 26 ain't a ways out because we're here, and that's what scares me. Matt Rusher, good night, Grumpy. Good night, Matt. The hell time is it anyhow? Holy shit, I've already been here 2 hours, haven't I? Yeah, 123 and a half minutes. So, you all have it rough up there. Josh will be down Maine in September. Can't wait. Checking in from Spam Bitch Land, Virginia sucks. Yeah, boy, you guys. What'd she wait? 3 hours before she started taxing everything under the sun? Uber? I mean, you name it. She started taxing it. And then tomorrow, this is what kills me, because our local rag, the Citizen there, the Shitticen as I call it, I can't read the articles because I refuse to, give them any money and subscribe. But I can read the headlines. And one of them, I guess there's a big No Kings rally going on tomorrow across the country. I hope it's cold as shit and raining and snowing and whatever everywhere as there is one. But there's one here in Auburn, somebody wrote in the letter to the editor part, show up for the No Kings stuff. Go do that in Iran. See how that works. Just, especially since you're probably,
oh, free Iran and all this shit. Go do your little protest in Iran. That was another thing. One of the very uneducated ones that came in wasn't the one that I pinned. It was another one that I mentioned something about the 30 to 40,000, Iranians that the Ayatollah killed because of their protests. Well, I doubt that. I haven't heard about that. And you fucking vote. Yep. And you vote. Because is there anybody in here right now? And if you got a good reason for not hearing it, great. But is there anybody in here right now that hadn't heard what they were doing to the Iranian people before this started? And then you got the lamestream media, like CNN and whatnot. I saw one of their pieces of shit make a comment that, well, you don't see them people on the streets anymore because now they're backing the Iranian regime. That's why you don't see them out there. Maybe you don't see them out there because one, they saw the other 30 some thousand get killed, and two, they don't want a bomb dropped on them. Just a thought. But you be you and I'll be me. Ugh. Give them a double barrel full of hell, Grumpy, and we'll see you next month. Yep. You might see me before that. I might do one in the middle of April in a couple weeks or something. How far away are you from farming, fixing, and fab? Oh, 20, 25-minute drive, probably. Something like that. Not very far. I asked Andy if I'd come over sometime and see the new parlor. I wouldn't film or anything like that. And he said, yeah, anytime. We just haven't got it figured out yet to do it. So, because my brother wants to go and see it too. Seems like YouTube farmers is the only ones doing good. Well, if you can make an extra 100, couple 100,000, I mean, just saying, on top of what you're making farming. I've heard that Laura Farms girl makes damn good money, but she shot up like a rocket when she first come on. Well, gee, let's see. You're wearing a tank top and a pair of cut-off jeans. I mean, I don't watch her, but I've seen her before. She ain't hard to look at. So, y'all think if I put on a tank top and a pair of cut-off jeans, my numbers would shoot up? I'm just asking. I'm thinking no. But, yeah. It'd be funny, but I want to see their dairy parlor too. Well, that's up to him. I said I wouldn't do any filming. So, sex sells. You're exactly right, Eric. Have I thought about OnlyFans? What the fuck, Carl? Yeah, uh-huh. Wow. No, but the short skirt and heels ought to do wonders. Bell Farms is hot. Well, let's be honest. Any of the 20-something, even 30-something females in agriculture, and I mean, there's some of them that actually do. I'm not going to say she doesn't work, but Eric had hit it on the head. Sex sells. Me in a tank top or a cut-off shirt and cut-off jean shorts ain't gonna sell. I can help you set up the OnlyFans page, yeah. Tube top and flip-flops, you can do it, yep. This opened a can of worms. Who is the best farmer on YouTube? I don't know. I don't rate them. Here, let me be a narcissist. I am. How's that sound? I don't give a shit. We all do a lot of things the same. We all do things different. I mean, Andy had a video out a couple weeks ago, kind of showed the parlor and setup. Did he? Okay. Get a tutu. Oh my God. How about high heels? No. The guys would love it. Oh my God. Oh, no, you said a different word. Excuse me. I don't have my glasses on, remember? I'm not repeating that one. Stay safe on the water, mate. I'm all in on voter. Yeah. Voter IQ. Yeah, I'm all in on that too, and voter ID. But grumpy and cutoffs and tank top is the opposite of sex. That's like erectile dysfunction with a face. Gee, thanks, Carl. Wear a straw hat and a pipe and nothing else. You got it, Andy. You are the best farmer, and I don't know about that, but no, I didn't see Patrick Shiver's video. Vance isn't running because they're having a baby and he wants to be with it, which is, I think, a very great thing. We got a couple teams short on our Monday night golf league that's coming up. And the one guy, I was texting him the other day, and his daughters are in school, and they're getting into softball and all this, and he's getting into the coaching of them. I said, dude, your kids are only small once, man. Do the kid thing, and in 5 years, come back to the golf league. So I live about 25 miles from Laura Farms. She is too commercial for me, always selling something. Yeah, well, that's like the dipshit 2 hours east of me, too. Beds and everything else. Yeah, I do. I got another flashlight coming from a different company. Actually, I think Olight's sending me another one, too. If you notice, I do like flashlights, the mini chainsaws, grease guns, grease gun couplers. I do shit I could use on the farm. Well, this company that's sending me a flashlight now, yeah, send us your address, your phone number. No, I don't send anybody my phone number, okay? And I put that in the email. I said, here's my address. I said, you ain't getting my fucking phone number. I said, Olight didn't get my fucking phone number. I said, if that don't work for you, then don't send me the fucking light. I don't care. So, okay, we'll send you the light. I said, and furthermore, maybe I'll compare it to the Olight. I don't know. Oh, they wanted to know, will you do this as its own video, or will you do, and I've had other ones that like, well, do the video and then send it to us so we can proofread it. Okay. So in other words, the email you sent me that, oh, we see your video, we watch your videos and we think they're great, and you'd be a perfect fit for doing this for us on this product, is a complete lie, because no, I'm going to review your product. If it sucks, you are all going to know it sucks, and I'm going to say it sucks. If it's good, you are all going to know it's good, and I'm going to say it's good. Ain't nobody proofreading my videos, other than the wife, maybe, when she edits them. And most of them have sent me their shit. Some of them haven't, because of that request. And it's like, that ain't how a review goes, folks. That you get to check the review to make sure it's what you want. No. Do more golf videos. Maybe you'll get a free set of clubs. I need a new set of irons because mine are starting to come apart down on the hosel. It's not good. Trying to save up enough poker money because I've been doing pretty good at poker lately to get myself a new set of clubs. Just irons. That's all I need. You have some opportunity. Trim the beard. Oh, I know you don't care. I'm unsubscribing. Yeah. Yeah. I love those ones, Missouri Rob. Those are, that they got to come in and announce that they're unsubscribing. Like I fucking knew who you were in the first place, you know? Now, if you or Michael or Eric or Carl or Betty or Jackie or Adam or Jim or Tom, or I could go on, came in and said you were unsubscribing, I'd probably go, whoa, why? You've been here for a long time and we've always had a good rapport. Like I said, if I didn't mention your name, I'm sorry. I could go on because I know a lot of you by first name. So, but when some random whatever, I like your farming videos, but I don't want to talk about politics, blah, blah, blah. So good luck farming this year. I'm unsubscribing. Whatever. If you want, I know a guy. You got to be more specific. I don't know what you're talking about. Olight has some good stuff. I have some of their lights, but I do not know if I spelled that correctly. Who cares? I got the picture. I read it. Wear a V-neck t-shirt. Millions will tune in hoping to catch a nip slip. Jesus Christ. You guys. I knew I shouldn't have mentioned any of this stuff. Yeah, Doofus is still around. Did you see his latest woman left him? Yeah. Let's see. He got thrown out of the home farm, but it was their fault, the family's fault. Got the first woman knocked up and she left. Didn't have anything to do with his kid for like the first year or two, but now apparently does. I guess that's what I've heard. Because I tried to follow him on Instagram, but he blocked me there. So now the second woman here, Harley Davidson there, she left. But it's always the other person's fault. It's never his. Anybody seeing a pattern there? I'm just saying. Kenny Holloman, I will never unsubscribe. You have information that helps my farming operation and is very informative. Well, I appreciate that. I show people what I do on the farm. Doesn't mean anybody else has to do it. We all come from different regions of the country. Things are different. I try to tell people what shit costs and stuff like that. You know, I'm not corn puke there where I'm going to give you, how much money the fucking IRS just took out of my checking account the end of February for my taxes. In case anybody wants to know, it was thousands, not hundreds, but yeah. But we're getting $34 back because there was some fuck up somewhere. I'm not sure what it was, but we were a little concerned when we got that letter in the mail. But our accountant said, no, it's some software fuck up or something, and we're going to get a $34. I can say I got a refund from the federal government for, I think, the first time ever. Of course, it's after they already took my taxes. Now I'm going to get $34 back, but $34. Doofus grows up with the dairy and knows nothing about cattle. Yeah, well, he's whatever. I'm ready for farming plus politics videos getting close. Well, I'll always talk about what's going on. So even when I'm in the tractor, hell, maybe I'll fucking throw one of these up in a tractor. I probably won't be reading very many comments on that if I do. Didn't your combine come with a crystal ball, Andy? Wouldn't that be nice? When you building your new home and show progress of building? When I retire and move south someday. And then chances are it won't be building, it'll be buying a pre-existing because I just don't want to go through all that. Duffy sounds like a narcissist. Yeah, I get accused of that. It's funny. You try to tell people things truthfully and shit like that, and you're a narcissist. It's like, that's interesting. Okay. Looked in a mirror lately? To those that say that shit? Well, we have to pay our taxes earlier than most, Michael, because we don't pay quarterly and shit like that. So we have to pay by March 1st. I mean, we could guesstimate, but I don't like the idea of giving the government something that they get to gain interest on ahead of time. I'd rather just pay it all at once. Carl just had a loony leftist tell him I didn't click on any of your links or any of your sources. Well, then why the fuck are you commenting, stupid? Yeah, exactly. I mean, you literally, don't take this the wrong way, Carl, you leave a book on a lot of comments because you leave so much evidence, basically, that where they can go to see what you're saying. And they don't. Because they don't want to. They don't want to know. Yeah, free at last. Yeah, $34 back, free at last. Yep, I'll put that in the golf club envelope. If anyone wants to know how much money the IRS took from Andy and Barb, look up the movie Pulp Fiction, the scene between Marcellus Wallace and Red in the pawn shop basement. God, I watched that video, or that movie, but I don't remember that one. So you don't get any money. You don't get any more money for buying equipment. You don't get any more money for buying. I don't know what you mean by that. Do we get to use like the 179 to write off equipment and stuff versus depreciating it over, a longer time period? Yes, but I haven't bought anything I haven't bought anything since the Combine, which is the 22, because prices have kind of sucked. So you tighten the belt a little. Maybe disguise your links as troom suits would get them to click. Yeah, exactly. Put pride flag on them. God, we've gone off the rails. All right, I've been here too long. So it's almost 9:15. I'm checking out. I don't even know what the last Friday of April is. Like I said, I don't know. It'll just be me again. We get into May. I don't even know if I'll be doing one. I may do one the middle of April. I don't know. We'll see. So we'll see how much you guys can put up with me. But this is the last video for March, because I don't have one done for the next 3 days, and I'm probably not gonna do one till like next Tuesday. I think we're gonna open the shop up and start getting ready for getting equipment out and getting. Not real thrilled to doing it when it's 28, 29 degrees out. Getting equipment out, getting ready. The seed guys, seed dealers are already hollering. They want to start delivering seed April 24th, okay? And so maybe next Tuesday I'll start filming again. Barb and I getting the shop opened up, getting shit out, and we will go from there. So, all right, I'm going to call it quits, and I appreciate y'all being here. Appreciate those of you who gave me a super chat. And probably middle of next week will be, I'm just guessing, middle of next week will be when you'll see the next video. But go check out yesterday's if you haven't, and check out the pinned comment, because whether the guy meant it or not, that was the dumbest comment to leave that I think I've ever. Dumber than that, and then haters comments if the guy isn't really a hater. So yes, and everybody have a good Easter. So, but all right, we'll see you later.